Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to Sensoas, and today we're going over the Black Series Mandalorian Cara Dune from the Credits series. I picked this up at my local Target for the going rate of $20.99 to $25.99, somewhere in there. They don't seem to be consistent anymore, but regardless of that fact, this is the first Cara Dune that I'm getting. I never found the original Black Series Cara Dune on pegs anywhere, and while the colors aren't perfect for her on-screen portrayal, she's going to have to be a good enough for the show for now until I can find an original Cara Dune. So looking at her, you see we get the figure, a blaster, vibra knife, and her long arm, the little credit up here at the top, which is an interesting gimmick. You know, it's kind of a pun because these are based on the credit scenes, how they're painted, and this is a Imperial credit. It's pretty funny. I get it. I'm laughing just on the inside. On the card back, you see we get the painted part from the credits, and I believe this is from the fight with the Zabrak in, what was that, episode 7 of season 1, I believe. Looking at the back confirms what I thought. You know, get a little bit of a read up and legalese. All that out of the way, I'm going to cut this off the bubble. We'll look at the credit, look at her accessories, and go over articulation and all that. We'll start by looking at the credit first, which in the package I thought was a silver, but kind of looking at it really up close and getting it out, it looks almost like a copper kind of rose gold color. So I'm trying to get it to show up on camera, which I think that's probably the closest I'm going to get because the color doesn't really kind of come through so well. I kind of wish they put a peg on here, so that way they could at least be a, stand for the figures, but still, it's nice, I guess, if you're into, like, something like costuming or props, maybe, I guess you could use this. We have our little blaster here, cast in one solid color, looks to be slightly translucent with a little bit of a glitter added to it, fits in the hand just fine, and fits in the holster just fine as well. We have her little vibro knife, which the brown paint apps went up onto the blade a little bit there, but not the end of the world. Cast in that same kind of charcoal, almost translucent gray black color with a little bit of glitter in it. Also fits in the hand just fine. Unfortunately, there's no designated housing for it on the figure. I'd initially thought that was a sheath for it on her boot, but it is not. So I'm just going to shove it down the belt and leave it there. That brings us to her long arm, which I distinctly remember her using in the last couple episodes of season 1. She may have used it prior, but I distinctly remember those last two. Or at least those two stand out to me. Brown paint-ups on the buttstock and the grip. Has a nice handle up here, which, if they're emulating this off of a 240, that's actually for switching out these barrels. You're not supposed to hold on to that, but there you go. Has a little bit of translucence there at the end of the barrels, as you can see. Nice sculpt overall. This strap also unhooks on the front, so you can hook it various places if you want to. It was already unhooked inside the package, so I'm not entirely sure where it's supposed to go, so I disconnect it there. Also has a peg at the buttstock that can unpeg, so you could remove the strap entirely if you want to. Fits in the hand just fine. And quickly, going over her face, I think it's a very good likeness of Cara Dune or Gina Carano. They even put the little kind of rebel teardrop on her cheek here. I know it looks very grainy up close, but that's what the photoreal tech does. When you get super close, everything gets kind of grainy. At a distance, it looks a lot better, and I think it's a great likeness. But you can see they added red to her hair, a little bit of green there on the side, some rusting and some weathering and the like all over her armor and her uniform. So I understand that this is mostly supposed to just emulate the paint, but I do like that, the addition of all this kind of weathering, giving it a different look. And that motif kind of follows the figure pretty much all the way down to the feet, as you can see. So with all that out of the way, let's go over articulation and we'll call it a day. She's able to look up that far, look down that far. She gets side to side and her hair doesn't really affect it that much. The hair on the right side of her head does affect the tilt to the right a little bit, as compared to the left, where you really don't get that. The shoulder pads are glued to her shoulder, so going forward in a 360, you're going to crash into it in either direction. They are soft enough to allow her shoulder to come up at a 90. We have a single joint in the elbow, which would come up past 90 if it weren't for her bracer, but it comes up to just a hair over it. Elbow swivel. We of course get wrist swivel, and the right wrist hinges up and down, where the left wrist hinges in and out. Dumbbell joint in the waist allows her to lean forward that far, lean back that far. She of course gets side to side, swivel. Her belt here is affixed in the back, but it does float in the front. She can only kick forward that far, kicks back about that far, kicks out that far. Thigh swivel. Double joint in the knee comes up that far. We have a boot swivel. Ankle goes back, forward, and an ankle rocker. And that's really all I got for today. She'll play the part for my display. I wish I had the more traditional blue on all the pauldrons, but she'll work. If you already have Cara Dune, then this should be an easy pass for you. But if you're someone like me who missed out on her, then this is kind of your chance to get one, or at least, a surrogate or a substitute until you can find the real one. I've had a couple subscribers message me on Facebook and ask why I don't show myself cutting bubbles off the card, and frankly, it's to me not that fascinating. I just use a X-Acto knife and I cut along the bubble where it meets the card, and that's it. So now you know. So anyway, if you like what you saw, then all that I ask is that you like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It's a great way to help me out, and I very much appreciate it. So I thank you for stopping by today and spending some time with me. And until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.